Yo, welcome to the Triple T for Knife Makers podcast. I am Denis Tyrell of Tyrell Knifeworks, and as always, I have my bro here, Jerid Sandoval of Echo Blades. Mr. Jerid, what's new in your world?
What's up? What's up? All good here, man. I'm actually tired. So I feel
You getting old?
yeah. Oh, there's 100%, dude. So I just had this sleep study done last week, and I found
Shut
out I applied for the fighter pilot program.
You know, the worst part is Kim told me the other day, she said, that thing's not working, you're still snoring. She said, maybe you're sleeping a little better, but you're still snoring. I'm like, oh, damn it.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm going to have to get the one size up kind of thing, but that sucks.
Well, you're rocking the mouth guard, right?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, bro. Just get in the plane, get in the jet.
I didn't tell you last week how much that mouth guard costs.
No, you did not.
It is fucking ridiculous how much that thing costs, and so far it's not covered by insurance.
How many maybe it's too soon here, but how many sand sharks would it cost? No. See, I'm baiting you right now.
Yeah. Too many. First of all.
More than one?
Yo, fuck yeah.
Oh, goodness. How many grinders?
From who?
Housemaid.
More than two. Close to three.
Just the kits, not the motors?
The mouthpiece is $2,900.
What the?
Yeah, but he's like, oh yeah, but you're not just paying for the mouthpiece. You're paying for the consultations, and you got to go see them like 4 times and all this bullshit. And I'm like, this is a fucking little piece of plastic. Yeah, the computer software they use on the screen is like super fancy, but Jesus Christ.
Good Lord, I'm gonna start a fucking mouth guard business.
Yeah,
all I need is one, and I can retire.
Yeah, so I got to get like the one size up that it holds your jaw open, pushes your lower jaw forward a little more. So anyway, it's a whole ordeal. And if this doesn't work, then we're going to be really pissed off, because then I will be doing, Top Gun training.
Is there like a 30-day money back guarantee?
No, these are custom made.
Oh, goodness. All right. No. Well, sleep well, honey. Sleep well.
Well, and it doesn't, if I've been drinking, it doesn't help at all. So, but no, Friday night, done something I hadn't done in a long time. I actually got out and played poker. So that was pretty fun at a buddy's house. Haven't done that in a while.
Are you a big gambler?
I wouldn't say I'm a big gambler. I love playing poker. And I used to play poker like multiple times a week. And like online, like once a day, like back, 6-7 years ago, when it was kind of more of the rage. But I haven't played in a long time, probably a couple of years. But it was fun. And actually, honestly, the reason I wasn't gonna go, this one of my guys who used to be in my poker game. He has this, for his birthday, he has a poker tournament at his house. There was like 40 people going, and I'm like, 40 guys that are poker players. I'm like, that sounds like a great place to network. And if anybody asks about, what do you do? So yeah.
Okay. I wasn't quite following the angle there, but I get it now.
Yeah, it came up a few times, and there's a guy in the poker game who was sitting at my table, and he said he's got his own company. He's making little fire starters, like
Flint thing,
ferro rods, whatever. And he wants to get he wants to get a knife maker to make survival knives. And I said, oh, and he goes, yeah, I need like 500 knives. I'm like, whoa, I'm not your guy. Like,
Yeah.
no, I'm not your guy. I don't want to be making 500 of the same knife. And I said, but I know a few guys. I'm like, what's your price point on these things? He's like, oh, I don't know. And I'm like, you have no idea what you want to sell. Like, I'm not. And I said to him, like, if you want a custom maker to make these, you're probably looking at around paying whatever, $150 a knife, like something around there. And he's like, oh, that's really high. I'm like, go get them from China, because you're not going to get a custom maker to make them
Oh,
for
I was
less than
gonna say
that.
150 is kind of.
I mean, I'm like, it might start there. Like, I have no idea what he's looking for. Right? It might be a little, like, if it's a big survival knife, because it's an order of 500 of them, right? Like, there's going to be some volume pricing
Sure.
here, but yeah, it's. I think I actually told him, like, I think I told him 200, just to scare the shit out of him a little bit, because, you know, not that I'm trying to scare him out of the market, but you got to be serious here.
Yeah.
It's like, do you want a good custom made knife, or do you want crap from
China.
overseas?
China.
Yeah, but it was fun. I did shit at the poker game. Just could not get cards to save my life, but had a good time.
Oh,
Oh, one funny thing. I'm talking to my buddy Casey. It's his game, and he knows all about, because I post on Facebook, whatever, and we're friends. And his wife, who I think I met once, asked me, "So you're a knife maker?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she goes, "Like, so you put handles on knives?" I'm like, "No, I make knives." And she goes, "What do you mean you make knives? Like, you make the handles?" I'm like, "No." Like, I said it to her like 3 times, like, "No, I make the knives." And she goes, "The steel?" I'm like, "Yeah." And then I slid my phone over to her with, like, the album that I have all of my, like Blade Show pictures in.
all
And
right.
then she's like, "Oh."
Oh, you make the knife. I get it.
Yeah, yeah. But it was funny. Like, I think she said it 3 times. Wait, you make the knife, like the handle? I'm like, no, not the fucking handle. But how was your week?
That's funny. Like when I tell people, I'm a knife maker too, or I'll show them the knife. They always look at the handle and they're like, and they really not kidding. They're, oh, you make this handle? I'm like, well, like kinda, but like I don't like grow wood or like
But it's true. Most like novice knife owners, like, or people that are into knives, that is what they see.
yeah,
And that's why when I'm typically making chef knives, or things for, and I'm sure I got a couple of chef knife sales out of this, um,
that's
out
cool.
of going, but no, those, we'll talk about those later. But yeah, those will get nice burl wood handles, because that people are super impressed by that. That's what they see first.
Yep, that's
So,
100%.
and whether it's like, even if it's like, excuse me, layered G10 or something like that, that's also equally cool to them, because it's not every knife you buy at Williams of Sonoma or whatever has a black handle, right? A black,
Yes.
shitty, hard plastic handle. That's all they have.
Yep. Yep.
Or maybe the dark wood handles from an old Henkel, which
With
suck.
those, yeah, with those giant ass pins and or no pins, to just glue it into the. To,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah. So something more elaborate always, you know, people notice that.
yeah, that's funny. Well, it's good, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was fun. I lost
What
my
is
shit
Brian
at the game, but
like? You were playing strip poker, or
yeah, with like 38 dudes and 2 women.
oh, that sounds like a great time, dude. Damn. That's not the cat's ass. That's for sure.
No, it was not the cat's ass.
That's funny.
And my
Well,
usual poker luck, I got some. really big hands at the wrong time kind of thing. But
Somebody once told me, like, if you're playing poker, your strategy is to look around the room and find the sucker. And I never do. So I stopped playing poker.
you only got to be better than half the people at the table.
Yeah. It's
Well,
not my deal. Not my deal.
yeah.
But
I love the
cool.
game, but it annoys the shit out of me at the same time.
Yeah. Right on. Well, shit.
So
Yeah,
did
man. I go ahead.
I was going to say, did you actually have a full week at work this week, or did you go off on to some other extravagant outing?
No, I actually went to work.
Wow.
Yeah, nothing. And it was horrible.
Yeah, I feel for
Yeah,
you.
it was horrible. It's like all I do is talk all day, and then here I am doing this.
Talking.
It's just yeah, just talking. That's all I do. Just blah 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 blah. But you know what I did do was I gotta so I had to reprioritize some things, because my production is I'm slow, right? I'm definitely not a fast maker, right? I probably overthink everything and plan too much, and then get lost in that, and I don't actually get a lot of things done, especially during the week too, because um, before I took, you know, before I went into this position, I had like this extreme, like the perfect balance, right? It was just work, come home and I was fired up and ready to get in the shop, and I was, had quite a few nights in the shop, and then I just get so burnt out, man, and yeah, I think we talked about it before, but like you got to be in a decent state of mind and energy wise, right, to get out there and for it to be fun or even productive, right? But I think I kind of just let myself fall into a little bit of a rut of you know maybe using that as an excuse to not go out there. So I switched some things up, and I did get got out a couple times this week, and I used to a while back. I was thinking to myself, self, how about just like an hour a day, right? 1 hour a night in the shop, right? Keep the production going, getting something going, keep it moving. And I lost that. Probably forgot about it because that's part of my deal. I have all these great ideas, and then then I wake up in the morning and they're gone. But so that's what I did. I got out there and I was hand sanding and doing some stuff. But that kind of led into this weekend where um, Saturday I had a full day in the shop, and I think I did about 20-30%, if we're gonna put, like a percentage on them, on like 5 things. So, at the end of the day, I don't feel like I had this, like, physical thing to look at, like, satisfaction of completion, right? But I worked my ass off. I did a lot of shit, and it was good. It felt good. So
Well, that's good. And yeah, I know what you mean. Sometimes you're like, whatever whatever I'm doing, like I'm working on fittings or something for a big project, and it's like all I fucking did was sand this one little fitting. and
yeah.
then and then and then I'll like put it in heat treating, and I'll go over here and I'll do one little thing, and but exactly by the end of the day you're like, I don't really feel like it, but you did, you did get stuff done. So
Yeah, like, I've had some handles split, ready for liners, and I'm like, "Ah, I'll get to it, I'll get to it." I'm like, "Dude, it's just fucking glue the things up." Like, what at the end of the day when I still didn't get them done, like, I was doing other things, but I did hand sand my ass off yesterday, or yeah, it was yesterday, um, to the point where my hands were actually, like, hurting, and, but I kept like taking a break, and then I'd go and I'd work on a handle, and then I'd go grab another knife, and I'd profile or clean it up or do something. So that's kind of what the day was, but it was good, man. I felt in retrospect, I know I was productive, and that's a huge win for me right now. So it was cool.
there there's days when I'm doing that, But it's like the days when I feel really productive is when things are like flowing together. Like, and I got multiple projects, and I'm whatever. I'm hand sanding something, and I got something in the oven, and whatever. Like, I got three things going, and every time one thing pauses, I can jump to the next one. Those are the
Yep.
days that I really feel like, things are flowing. Like, there's not even any empty time, because if I pause, and you probably have this too, if I pause and I happen to look at my phone, there goes 15, 20 minutes.
Oh,
Like,
easy.
like I gotta
Fucking
not do that.
easy, dude. Easy. Oh, let me just check. And then
Oh,
I'm like, "Oh, what's so and so doing?" Oh, and I'm done. And then
I,
that's when my Mrs. Echo Blades will walk out in the garage, and I'll just be sitting on my chair, and she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like,
it
"I
was funny
swear,
because
I just stopped."
I was just doing that the other day when Kim came in. But um what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, like I'm sitting there hand sanding. I realize, oh, I should be listening to a podcast or something like that. And I open my phone. This is like how bad the ADHD is. And I'm not joking. Like, I do have it. And I
Mhm.
look at my phone, and all of a sudden I find I've gone through Instagram, I've answered emails, I've done, and I put my phone down and I go back to hand sanding, and I realize the one thing I picked up my phone for I didn't do, which is put a fucking podcast on.
It's
And
my
it's like,
life, dude.
oh man,
That's my life.
so bad.
Or going to grab a knife to work on, and just traveling from one end of the shop back to where I was gonna go, but then I get to the fucking grinder or something, and I don't have the knife, and then I spend 10 minutes fucking looking for it because I don't know where the hell I put it down. Or yeah,
Oh, oh,
dude,
for
that's
me,
that's the
my
worst.
my nemesis is that fucking chuck key to my drill press. I don't know what it is. That is the one. Like, my shop's pretty organized. I know where all my tools are. That friggin' chuck key, I don't get it. Every time I take a drill out of the drill press, I have the key holder on the side of the drill press, and I'm trying to force myself to put it back there every time. Because sure enough, in 5 minutes, I'm going to be searching all over the damn shop for that chuck key.
I
It
actually
drives me
took
crazy.
I actually took some, I bought some lights for the shop a while ago, and they come with a little chain link to hang the 2 by 4s, you know what I'm saying? The 2 by
Mhm.
4, LED lights, and they have a little chain link that you use to, set your elevation down.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I took some of that and looped it into the
Bolted it.
fucking chuck key, and I fucking attached it to the to the drill, because and it never goes anywhere, it just hangs, and I can't that's the only way. The new
That's
drill I
you got
have
to
has
do
that
that.
little it has a little thing on the side, but, I tend to remember that one because I'm so sensitive to that fucking missing thing, but
Yeah,
that's funny.
man.
Yeah, so but I got the tactical chupacabra as one of my little hunter models, the old twist one. I got pretty far on that. Handles are already done. Fronts are done. Just hand sanding. That one's sold to a buddy. I did put which was weird for me. It was kind of a sketchy, I guess. I think I've been talking to you about it for a week or plus. About I wanted to put a swedge or a clip on it, right?
Yeah,
And but it's already been ground, and I don't know, for whatever reason it was intimidating to me. So um I did that today.
yeah. I told you,
Uh
stop being a bitch and just do it.
yeah, you did. Fucking bully. Just no. But yeah. And then again, I always take my time, and then at the end of it I was like, just getting it done. And I'm like, fuck man, I gotta move like that more. But that one's really close. I'm really fucking really stoked on this chef knife that I'm doing right now. On it's the very first billet that I ever made with my buddy Sean, and it has been sitting for almost a year and a half, maybe 2 years. Just the billet, and I have no fucking idea what it was. Like in my mind, I know it started as 11 layers, and I drew it out, and I swear that I restacked it. So I thought I had like maybe, you know, 44, some kind of layer count on it. But I profiled the knife out and I did the test etch on it, and no, it's 11 layers, and I am absolutely digging this low layer, those thick bands. Like I've been into that for a long time. Really big fan of just like simple Sanmai and Gomais, but these thick bands that are, and they're kind of random. But what I didn't realize was on the chef knife, I ground it so thin that I lost a bunch. I lost like 6 of
layers
those
of
11 layers. Yeah.
so it's a go mine now.
It's like a whatever. Yeah. A go plus one.
Go
But it
dog
looks
go.
cool. Yeah. It looks really cool. So, um, and I have a Gomai one of the tactical chupacabra, that little hunter one
Nice.
that's starting. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
and
it was good.
every blade I hear, yeah, this one's sold, that one's sold. That's awesome. Now you just got to get them out the door.
I just got to get them out the door. Yeah. That's really what I'm doing. Like, cause you were talking about, like working on several things, I think that process is really good if you're working on one knife. Like you can keep that flow, you profile, go, blah, blah, drill holes, pins, bevels, blah, heat treat, it's just, I just really love profiling new knives and leaving them around forever. So,
That is your favorite operation, it seems. Is I'm
yeah.
surprised your knives don't get smaller and smaller. You love to profile them so much.
Yeah. But so, and
Um,
that's fucking hilarious. I have a family member. This is bad. Oh, I can't even think I'm going to say this. I have a family coming next weekend, next Saturday, and I had a knife started, ground, heat treated, ready with the handles, and they were there last year. And my cousin was like, I
it was
want
in
that
that
one.
state last year,
It has sat for an entire year. And I'm like,
dude.
I better fucking finish it for him before next week. So
And you could just say, "Oh yeah, well, it's been sitting around. I
it's
keep
been
forgetting to
sitting
give it to
forever. Yeah. So I put it in the safe. It's good, man. So yeah, that's gonna happen.
you."
But
Yeah, you got this week. Get on it.
yeah, it's really close. I just gotta sandblast it and put the handles on. So
Nice.
think I got that one.
I tell you, I am thrilled to be done my Viking sword build.
Yes.
Yeah, really happy to have that done. I was thinking, man, it's going to take another week or whatever, but I always like I don't know, I would say procrastinate, but I always think like the ending is going to be so much, and then I always forget that like after sanding the fittings, like it's etched and pretty much done. Like it's really quick, and I didn't do the coffee this time. Did straight gator piss, which turned out really good. Uh, really high contrasts. 15 and 20 looks awesome. I'm really happy with it. Um, Jerid here helped me with the photo shoot today. I'm not going to give away what it was, but we had a fun, at least I had a fun time doing the photo shoot today. Jerid was laughing at me the whole time because I was in costume, but it was it was fun. We also got, I actually, you guys will see some of it because I took some for some other blades that I have up for sale as well. That I'm going to use the Viking theme, and you're going to see on Instagram. So I'm going to start blasting these over Instagram just to rev people up for the Viking challenge. So you'll see some in the probably starting next week and the week after.
Yeah.
But I still got the scabbard to do, which I'm really pumped about because uh, I hate, honestly, I hate doing wood scabbards. Um, but this one, I'm actually it's gonna be wood, of course, the scabbard wood, um, but it'll be encased in leather and shark skin over top. So it's gonna be like a multi-layered with like stitched leather, and I'll be able to tool the leather over top of the scabbard. I think it's gonna look really, really nice. So I'm kind of jazzed about doing this one for a change, because normally I hate doing scabbards as opposed to
Uh,
sheaths, right?
yeah, I've never done one, but yeah, that they don't. Woodworking's is not my deal. So
I mean, I don't mind the like, doing the center part and like gluing it together and all that shit. Like that's easy. It's the finishing of it, because it's wood, and what do you do? And like, honestly, doing any kind of metal work, I love the look of it, but it's just so tinkery, and I just don't like. I've done it once when I did the elven sword. Like I molded copper around the sheath, and I wanted to put a little cap on the end. Like it is just infinitely harder than it looks to do
mm,
that kind of shit. So I'm not doing any metal around the scabbard. It's going to be leather on this one. So
that's cool,
yeah,
dude. But the sword, the pattern on that sword, just and the gator piss was. It's really nice, dude. It's
yeah.
really
I'm
nice.
I'm
I'm
happy the
digging
way
it.
it came out. I love the pattern on it. So
Yeah.
you guys, you'll see it in the video on the 20th, um, which I can't believe. Is it like, what are we? It's April 7th. It's like, yeah, man, 2 weeks away. Not even, yeah, under 2 weeks away. Crazy.
The Viking challenge is on Weed Day.
420. Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Nobody's gonna remember. What the
yeah.
fuck?
It's going to be all wake and bake and watch videos.
Be with our boy Pickle there.
Yeah, right.
That's funny, man. When we were in Blade a couple years back, it's the first time I'd met Nick, and he was talking, and I could this saying just has stuck with me forever. But I always hear him every time I see him. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna roll a doobie, I'm gonna roll a doobie."
With that gravel driveway voice of
Yeah,
his.
yeah, I'm gonna roll a doobie.
It's the French Canadian
It
gravel
is the French,
voice.
the doobie, the doob. I always think about that though.
Yeah,
Wow, shit.
Blade show less than 2 months now.
Yeah, it's getting real. They were putting the exhibitor tags out, and the exhibitor list is out. I was checking that out, making sure our neighbors are still the same. I think we lost
Oh,
Micah though. I think
oh,
he
did we?
moved up. Yeah, I think he moved up a couple tables. So
I told you to wear deodorant.
what's it? Yeah, no, I just I just don't like showering, dude. I get a lot of haircuts. I just don't shower. Speaking of haircuts, dude. So Reaper again with the fucking killer post Chewbacca with a meme saying, the knife community yelling at the Triple T podcast because I was calling everybody animals. It was fucking great, man.
Hairy animals.
Hairy animals, yeah. That was funny, man. I like that. It was cool.
Yeah, Blade show this year. I don't think we talked about this, or you and I talked about it, but it was one of those shows that we re-edited. Um,
Oh,
I want to talk about this scavenger hunt that I'm going to do at Blade Show. So
tell me.
this year at Blade Show, I want to do something fun, and I've got. Well, I'm not even going to tell people what they are, but I got a bunch of little things, little tokens that I'm going to put on different tables, and I'll get people to buy into this, and as in like join. Um, and whenever you see one of these little tokens, it's going to have something on it. You're going to have to write it down. And at the end, once you collect them all, there's a puzzle. And the first one to come back to my table and solve the puzzle, and it's not going to be easy, but the first one to solve the puzzle is going to win one of my
Uh,
knives.
oh, I was gonna say like a handshake.
Well, that too. But I thought that'd be something fun. So you'll have to race around to all the tables and look for. Once you see one, then you're going to know what to look for. Maybe I'm not even going to have one on my table. Maybe I'll put them on everybody else's table. But
Huh.
yeah, I think that'll be fun.
And you're not going to
Something to do.
tell what tables they're on?
No, that's going to take the fun out of it. And I'm not even going to tell people how many there are. So they won't know if they have them all. And it's going to be really hard to solve the puzzle unless you have them all.
Or are you going to put it in people like that hang out and know, or are you just going to pick like a
No,
random
no,
a
no. It'll
random
be
table so you
it,
don't got to give a knife up? No.
if you're listening and you have a table at Blade Show and you want to get in on the scavenger hunt, you don't have to do anything. I'm just going to put one of these on your table. Just put it visible on your table. Send me a message. Say, I want in on the scavenger hunt, and I'll add you to the list. I probably
Ah,
only have, I think, about 30 of these. So it won't be more than that, but we'll see. I
good,
don't know the exact number.
good God. People got to find a 30 of them?
Yeah, something like that. Hey, we got to
All
make it
right.
interesting. Come on.
Good God. All right.
Hey, you want to? You get a free knife if you do it. I know some
Let's
crazy bastard's going to do it. Probably, what's his name? Brigham. He, this is right up
just
his alley.
just give him the knife. No. I got your back, bring him.
No way. He's got to earn it.
Yeah. No, that's cool, man. That's a cool thing. And that, you know what, a byproduct of that, by proxy, everybody's gonna be forced to walk around with some purpose. You know what I mean? And look,
Right.
because I'm so guilty of like, all right, Dennis, I'm gonna be back. I need a break. I'm gonna go cruise, and then I just like cruise, and I don't spend time like actually just meandering through and like looking at everything.
Yeah. And
It's not.
I, I almost wanted. I'm not going to make it this hard, but I almost wanted to be like, you're going to have to go up and ask someone if they have it, and then they'll show it to you, so that you actually have to interact with the table and not just scan it and say, "Oh, there's one," and write it down and run to the next table. But I think that'd be, no one will actually do it.
Yeah, there's some introverts here in our community.
Right, right.
That's funny.
But hey, if nobody gets it, then whatever. Maybe I'll give it to a patron. But um, yeah, someone will do it.
Hmm,
It'll be fun. So
nice.
yeah, now I'm starting. Now that the Viking sword is done, now I can start making all my knives for Blade Show. So got just under 2 months. So I'm feeling pretty good about it.
Cool. I'm
And I got
starting
the
to stress.
the whole week before Blade Show, I have off work. I took off work, so I got lots of
Good,
time.
good for you. That's
Uh,
awesome.
so these two kitchen knives today, I got to say, well, I put the taper tangs on them, which I love. I think those are cool. Um, but for the first time today, I used that Broadbeck rotary platen, and I've never used a rotary platen. And to be honest, like, and I saw the whole demo from Morocco the first year we went to Maker Camp, and him doing a chef knife and then using a rotary platen, but I didn't really get it. Like, why a rotary platen? Like, what does it do? Why is it better? And so I never really was that jazzed about it. And then Broadback came up with one, and Vince asked me, hey, try it out, and I said, sure, of course. Um, and I owe him, now that I've used it, I owe him some content on it, so you'll see some Instagram posts and stuff on it. But I love that thing. um, for using it today for the first time to convex the edge of a chef knife and to just come in and kind of feather the edge and to take the edge down. Oh my God, that is the best thing ever. I was able to get the edge of that knife, like, because normally that's pretty finicky, right? Like, you want to get down to like seven or eight thousandths or something close to that on a chef knife. I was able to do it in minutes, just and feather it in, and it's convexed to that, because you can see it on the, and it was, I was so impressed with it. Um, so there was a couple little tweaky things with the Broadbeck, and I know the guys are still, still in beta, I think, when they sent it to me, and I think they've already made some improvements to it. But I have the original, but I loved it. I thought it was awesome. You got to try it, Jerid.
Oh, I want to. Yeah. I'm actually a little bummed because we hung out at your shop today. We actually did a little live. Just I was using the Sand Shark um, for a good while, which I love. By the way, it's yeah, like I said, it's not like it doesn't. It's definitely faster. It's definitely easier, um, and it's not like magic, but it's awesome. Like you feel it's way more productive, and I don't know. It's a great idea, dude. I think it's gonna do good. If you guys are interested in it, definitely jump in on those pre-orders because it's fucking awesome. But
Yeah, it'll be a
it's
few
still
weeks for the pre-order for everyone else, but
yeah,
I'll
but
let you guys know.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Then he's working all that stuff out that you've been going through, but it's still hand sanding, right? You're still sitting there, and it's just a little more entertaining because you've there's so many jokes there. That damn machine. Oh man. So I was like, fuck it, man. I put my phone down and I was like, Dennis, I'm just gonna go live and I'm gonna ignore everybody. And I just put it on there and just let it, and we were just going, and you could see Dennis in the background grinding on the rotary platen and doing his thing and doing that S grind, and so that was pretty cool. But because I was doing that, I didn't get a chance to really pay attention to you using the thing, which I'm a little bummed about now because I've been interested in those for a long time, but it's just I've never had the opportunity. Like you said it perfect. Like I've seen Mareko use it twice, um, and while you're there, you're seeing it and you're getting it and is explaining it. But if you don't have anything to relate it to or experience, like a lot of that thing is right over your head, right? Especially after you leave. So yeah, that was cool that you're digging it, and thanks.
Yeah, and even when Morocco did the demo, like I heard him say, like, "Oh, I'm going to use the rotary plate," but it never. And if he said it, maybe he said it, but I never heard of like, why are you using the rotary plat? Like, what's better about the rotary plat? And first of all, is heat. It does, because the your belt is sitting on a rubber belt, and the rubber belt is rotating around around this its own platen, and the abrasive belt is rotating around that. So it's not just a belt rubbing against a platen. So it builds up way less heat,
Yeah.
like way less heat. And the other thing is the rubber is soft. So you got a abrasive belt over like a whatever, a 3/32 inch thick belt, and it's pretty solid rubber, but still, so it's got a little bit of give to it, and just enough that it makes those edge, like just convexes those edges really nicely. Great, it's fantastic for chef knives. I don't know that I would ever do um, like a knife, like a grind on a knife that had a like a bevel line and a plunge line. Like I wouldn't do it on that.
Unless you were trying to
Maybe
wash it out.
right. It would really.
Yeah.
It's like using a surface conditioning belt. Like it would just wash out the bevel line. But doing the edge, like putting that convex on the edge, perfect. Like exactly what it's for. So I'm definitely keeping that thing in the rotation now. Certainly for all my chef knives. And maybe for anything else, I'm trying to thin the edge out and put a little convex on the edge. Like I'm really stoked about it.
Hmm. And those rubber belts are replaceable too? They
I
have to wear, right?
yeah, I'm sure they do, but they're not. It's not I think they're fiber belts. Like they're pretty stiff belts, and I think there's fiber inside the. I don't think it's solid rubber. But
Gotcha.
I'm to answer your question, I'm sure that Broadback probably sells extra belts. You can probably buy them. I haven't looked.
Hmm. Yeah, they're an investment for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
They're
I didn't even look how much they were because they gave it to me to try out. But
yeah.
I imagine they're not that cheap. There's
Nah.
there's a serrated kind of, because that special belt has serrations on the inside because it so that it tracks. It doesn't come off the wheel. So you got a 4-inch wheel that has those serrations to match, and you got two rubber 2-inch wheels, and then you got the tightening system and the whole, like, there's a lot of mechanics in this thing. So I imagine it's not very cheap.
Hmm. Yeah, they're about you could get about 6 of them for a mouth guard.
You're a dick.
Oh,
That's
that's
actually not
great.
that bad. That's not that bad.
Yeah,
$500? That's no,
somewhere around there, yeah.
yeah, that's not bad at all for what you get.
Yeah, that's cool.
Looking at what the thing was, but yeah, so
Hmm.
that was fun. I was I'm looking forward to doing some other knives. In fact, I have high aspirations. I have all those stacks of knives that you saw. Like I told you, I got a bunch heat treated, a bunch of like four or five sand tigers, those two knives, and then I want to do a bunch more. Like I've got a piece of kumai that I forged at Maker Camp that I'd love to make a few knives out of for Blade Show.
I thought you got rid of that. Didn't you trade that?
No, I only traded a little piece of it. The thing was like,
Oh.
it's like 24 inches long when I finished it. It was a big one. Um,
Oh, that's right. You were doing that. I was making a wooden spoon.
yes. Yeah.
I'm such a spoon man. Spoon
Spoon
man.
man. Um,
That's right.
and it's also actually pretty thick. I got to thin it out. I think it's almost a 1/4 inch, so I got to thin it out. But yeah, I'm hoping to have a couple of those for Blade, and yeah, and then the new model, the silver tip that I'm gonna make maybe
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
four or six
Gotcha.
of those. Um, so I'll have a bunch of those as well.
Cool.
But
Um,
yeah,
so I don't know. I'm segueing into something else here. The over the past couple weeks with the whole haircut thing, people were, messaging the podcast IG and all that. And one of the fucking cool dudes that gets his haircut like a normal person goes by the name
once every 2 months.
goes by the name of King River Forge. We're kind of going back and forth, and anyways, I was checking his profile out, his IG account, and I come across this book, and it's called Knife.
Knife. I was like, I can't read the fine print on it, but I read knife.
No, that's all it is. It's called Knife. Um, and my buddy Nick Rollins had given me a book too about. I can't even go into that book. It's crazy. Some Canadian guy ended up in Japan and became studied under a traditional Japanese bladesmith, and is now like an honorary Japanese knife maker in his mind. But anyways, really cool book though. Like has a lot of good illustrations and goes into some detail on the whole process of traditional Japanese stuff. But that kind of was inspiring me because what I have already said this in several podcasts is, like I make knives, but I'm not like a knife guy, right? Like I don't. I would be lying to you if I told you that like I've been studying knives and understand every intricacy of them, and so I'm on my journey here. I'm always trying to educate myself, and especially now that I'm trying to get into the culinary stuff, and really got a thing for Japanese culinary knives. But this book is fucking so cool. It's not like super data overload, but it does have, um, like a basic, Western knives, shapes, sizes, what they are, the Japanese, French, German, like, and it's simple reads, got a lot of pictures for guys that don't like to. So my retention on words when I'm reading is bad because of my neurodivergency, but it's really cool. It's a great book. It's called Knife, and I think our author is Tim Hayward. I got it off of Amazon for like $18, dude. So if you're looking for a good read, I highly suggest this book. It's really cool.
Does it come in an audiobook?
The pictures don't really
I'm
like
fucking
do
with
well on audiobooks. Yeah, no, I'm fucking meet you back.
you. Because
I
yeah, I'd rather have a book read to me than
That's
I'm
what I said. A
lazy.
lot of pictures. A lot of pictures. I
Yeah.
don't know if somebody would do that shit on the YouTube channel or something. That'd be cool, but fuck, I don't know anybody. So
It's too much information. It would be a boring video.
yeah. Yeah,
Ugh.
it's cool though. I know it's just a good little nerdy knife book. I liked it, so
All
I
right.
thought I'd share.
I'm expecting you to tell me all the cliff notes.
Yeah, done.
Cool.
I'll never read it, but
You just want to have a bunch of books, a library of like knife and blacksmith books. When people come over, you can go, yeah, look at my knowledge.
yeah, or what you think I know. Yeah, it's really cool though. I'm digging it. So yeah,
So we had, well, not like we went, but the Texas Select Knife Show was this past weekend, uh,
yeah.
which was sponsored by.
Our friend, homie, Mr. Frank, Two Bastards Hammer. He was there exhibiting. And if you're interested in getting yourself a nice custom hammer, go see Frank over at Two Bastards Texas Smithy and Supplies at Two Bastards Hammers on IG. They do it all, every single type, and they're awesome. And mine is coming soon. So, no.
Yeah, I use mine all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got another one coming too, I think. I can't wait to get one. Another one, put it in the rotation. I
Yeah.
haven't heard much else about the Texas Select Show, so yeah, if anybody went, reach out, tell us in the on the Triple T IG account how it went. I think
Yeah.
Neil from Maximus was there. Eric,
Micah,
yeah, Eric from
Eric. Yeah.
he had a table, so I'm anxious to hear how it went.
Yeah. Same here.
Yeah. I hear this is like one of the best shows in certainly in Texas. I've heard people say it's better than Play Texas. Um,
Oh,
that I don't know, different kind of show. They said I don't know what that means, but yeah, that'd be cool.
yeah. As much as I was trying to stay busy, I didn't troll around Instagram too much this weekend, so I haven't got to see. I just saw a couple posts of people getting ready to go. So, yeah, I'm interested to hear about it. And at any rate, I hope everybody killed it and had a great show. And now they're stressing that they made all those knives for that show and on the blade.
Right. Hopefully they sold out and they got to make them all again.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. So I think we talked a little bit about the Triple T from Thursday, the one finishing the knife, um, the beginner series knife. So the knife is done. Um, that one was about Like the one before was the router table, which I still think is the easiest way to finish a handle on a knife like that. But
Agreed.
yeah, it's just, and I even said in the video, if you don't have a router table, just go get one. They're like what, $160 or something with the router. Just go get one.
Though, yeah, the one that you recommended that I got as well, it was under $200 out the door with the table
Yeah,
mounted. Threw
yeah.
everything away that I didn't need. It just got the router on there.
You didn't keep the fence.
I
You
got the
kept the
fence.
yeah. You kept
I
the
got the
fence.
fence. Yeah.
Yeah. And then finishing, and of course, showed off the perfect blade sharpening attachment. Talked about that a lot. Yeah, if you guys are looking for a sharpening attachment for your 2x72, reach out to me. Check my website. They're also sold on Housemade, Maritime Knife Supply, and DIY Europe. Speaking of Maritime Knife Supply, get everything you need, not just the perfect blade sharpening attachment, but steel, uh, any knife handles, abrasives, all your abrasive needs, you name it for knife making. Lawrence has it or he'll get it. So check out Maritime Knife Supply for all your knife making needs.
Absolutely. You might be able to get a rotary plat in there too.
Yeah, he is the Canadian distributor for Broadbeck, so you
That's
definitely
right.
can.
Cool.
Yeah, go check him out.
I went. He didn't. Did he go? I
Uh,
didn't catch.
I don't know if he went actually.
He did
No,
go to Blade, Texas.
no, maybe it was Blade Tech. Yeah, it was maybe it was Blade Tech. I remember talking to Frank about Lawrence, and I couldn't remember if it was happened or coming up. So
Yeah,
maybe he went to both. I don't know. I'd be surprised if Lawrence went all the way just for the
for
um,
two of them, anyways.
yeah,
That
for
close
Texas Slack.
together. Yeah,
Yeah, but
that's quite a
that's a
haul.
that's like opposite end of the almost opposite end of the country for him. Like, well,
Yep.
the two countries, the continent, um, going from Nova Scotia all the way to Texas is quite the jaunt.
Yeah, I was talking to him one evening, and well, we're messaging back and forth, and then he's like, "All right, man, I got to go to bed," and I'm like, "All right." He's like, "Yeah, I'm 4 hours ahead of you. I've only ever talked to people that were 3 hours. He's that far. He's another hour time
Yeah,
zone ahead."
he's like East Maritimes of Canada, like way out
Yeah,
on the edge.
that's crazy.
Yeah, it's 4 hours. I thought it was 3.5, but maybe it's four.
Yeah, he
Maybe
said it
more.
was 4, so but I
Wow.
didn't know they go by half-hour increments.
Well, Newfoundland in Canada, I think, is a half hour because they're wacky.
They are wacky.
There's like the Canadian gypsies.
Yeah, I saw that play.
Yeah,
Come from afar or something like that.
yeah, right. Yeah,
Yeah.
they sound like Brad Pitt and Snatch. If you ever heard that,
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that.
that's exactly what it sounds like.
Yeah, that's funny.
Uh,
Oh man.
yeah, but finished up the Triple T knife, um, and I'll even though they're not a sponsor, I'm gonna give. 'Cause he's a patron. Give Travis Haynes a little shout out here because I did coat it with Pelican paste in the video. Um, yeah, that was a nice little coating on it. And that knife will be, and this week's episode is going to be making a leather sheath for that knife. And on this episode next week, we're going to announce the patron winner of the beginner series knife. So you should all tune in to next week's show, and also for another reason, because next week's show is going to be a really big show. There's our very first guest for a very special reason on next week's episode. It's going to be a big show. There's a big announcement. You all need to tune in.
You gonna fucking tell me?
You already know, dumbass.
I'm excited. I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
For the guest and the announcement. So
Yeah.
That pelican paste is really good though, dude. I like that stuff, and I actually, after all this hand sanding that I did this week, I lathered my stuff up with this hand solve, got my shit all back to good. It's I like it, dude. I'm glad you hooked that knife up with it. So
You know,
whoever gets it,
I need some of that because doing those chef knives today, you know, we were just talking about this last week. Like, hey, have you ever cut yourself on the edge of the knife, like on the spine? I did it today on the chef knife because I hadn't round over the spine, and I got a big kind of gash, but just through the skin, and you know, my hands are all cracked, and
yeah,
yeah,
that's real men that don't use the rest. We deal with this all the time. That
whatever.
That's great. Yeah, no, I saw you when you were on the rotary platen. You were freehanding there, and that's when it gets me all the time.
Yeah, yeah, because you know, for the same reason, I got that. In fact, I'm doing those chef knives with a no plunge, so it's like a transition. So I don't want to see a plunge. Um, so that takes a little more feathering to get that to happen. And you
Oh,
got
don't I fucking know? Oh, don't I fucking know right now? This one I'm
um,
working on. I I did it a different way, and I put the file guide on it,
I'll
and I
try
got
that.
it like a legit plunge line, and I don't know. I've been fighting it. So
You you
speaking of,
want you wanted the no plunge, or you wanted a plunge line, and that's why
no, I
you
hate
use
the plunge lines on the chef. Like, so
yeah.
all the ones that I've done, I've done them similar to the way that you were doing them, but for whatever reason, I was like creeping up too far up towards the handle, and so I slapped the file guide on, and I was like, I'll just get that out with the little right angle thing. It's a process I got from a couple people, and I don't. I've been fighting it. This
Yeah,
one's being
that's
a little bitch.
That's why I don't like using the file guide because I do the same thing. Then I'll tend to push there and I'll put a line. So now I'm like, I'm just going to put my fingers and they'll touch the edge of the platen, and then I know I won't go any further. That's what I was doing today when I did the
Yeah.
second knife in the S grind. So
Or
it
you
worked out a
gotta
little better.
tilt the handle up higher, and just you won't mess with the ricasso that much, and you can blend
Yeah,
that line
yeah,
in with hand sanding. So,
yeah.
which yeah, I don't. I just did it differently, and I'm fighting it. While we were on the live this morning, or this afternoon, I was trying to hand sand, and I got this one fucking spot that's, a low spot between the two high, and like I was hand sanding forever, and Noah from Antioch, I kept tell me the name of that.
Antioch River Forge.
Is it Antioch? I always want to say
NTI.
I always want to say Antioch because of this fucking city
No,
right next to me.
no,
I can
NTI.
never. Yeah,
Entiat.
Antioch.
For River Forge.
Anyway, yeah. God,
I'm sorry, Noah, that my bro here doesn't know how to pronounce the name of your forge.
I don't. Everybody's got a name that's how I remember it. So yeah,
We all have
whatever.
to conform to your will.
Yeah. Um. No, I just correct me when I fuck it up. I'm good with that. But yeah, Noah was telling it was like, oh man, just put the leather platen on there and blend that off on the grinder. Be out in 15 seconds. So I was like, motherfucker. Like, I've been sitting here for so long. You ever get so stubborn and locked in a way that you just like
All
you
the time.
don't want to like open your mind to regrouping and looking at it somewhere else.
I was working on the guard for the Viking challenge, and I start using files, and I'm like, with the file, and then I'm like, what am I fucking doing? I have a $3,000 grinder right here. Why am I using a file?
It's crazy.
And I'll be like, I'm an idiot. And like I
Yeah.
put a 600 belt on the grinder and just kind of feathered it, and I'm like, I'm done. Took me 5 minutes. I had already been sitting there for like an hour and a half of the file.
Yeah.
Just
That happens. So
stupid. Just
just you get locked and loaded on a fixed idea and you just can't fucking let it go. And then somebody's like, why don't you do this? And you're like, Well, you know what?
Shut up.
Fine. Yeah. Fuck off. But no, great suggestion though, dude.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
So I'm going to move on to comment of the week. I just got this one today. And sometimes when I get a version of this comment, I laugh. And other times I'm like, I want to just throw up the middle finger as a reply. But, and this is going to polarize our audience. But I guess he was, I don't remember what build he was watching. It could have been any one of them. And the comment says 240 thousandths of an inch, comma, or you could use metric. We've evolved. And I'm like, first of all, asshole. I'm Canadian. I'm very well versed in metric. Secondly, when all of your tooling is an imperial, it's not like we have a choice. Like, you can't just decide, hey, I'm in the US and I'm going to decide to use metric. And then I'm going to go to the hardware store and none of my tools are going to be in metric. Okay, once in a while you'll find like a metric. No, I don't think you can find a metric tape measure, but you can find metric drills. But that's about it. Everything else is going to be an imperial. So you can't just tell us use metric. It doesn't work that way.
Fuck him.
Yeah, there's a reason sometimes we refer to them as freedom units.
Yeah, exactly. That's good. I've never heard that.
You've never heard that?
No, I've just lived in America my whole life and I've always just used imperial. I don't even give a fuck about metric. So
Well,
I'm in my caveman
I'm
over
like,
here, my unevolved.
and I have in the last at least a year, I put metric equivalents in all my videos just so I don't have to hear this comment. But this was an old video, to be fair, and I didn't put the metric equivalents in there. But
Hey, you always do that, and I always get irritated. No,
well, because
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
but actually, in the third part of my response here, and I was nice. I wasn't an asshole with my response, but I put 240 thousandths or what is it like 6.093 millimeters. Which one's easier to say? It's not like one is more precise than the other. When you get down to doing machinist talk, whether you say 240 thousandths or 6.092, what difference does it make? Machinists are going to talk, at least in when you talk in thousands, it's always 3 digits. Well, unless you're like, it's over an inch. Most times you're talking about things that are less than an inch. So you talk about what the three
Ayo, no.
what the 3 decimal points are. It's actually really easy once you understand it. But.
Yeah, I never go over the inch, so I got the raw. I got the raw end of that stick there, buddy. I'm always in the thousands.
Well, you're going to get a sanding attachment pretty soon, so you'll be able to, pound it in a little harder.
There we go. Yeah. Can I get the metric attachment, please?
Just so it sounds bigger.
240,000? No, 0.60543295 with the gator tip. Yeah. Dude,
Yeah.
on the live, and I've been the sex machine is great, right? I mean, it's but it'll always be, you know, my term of endearment for it. But as I was using it on the live, man, every other comment was
Of course.
it was great, dude. I loved it.
Of course. I've had one guy, I don't remember if he's a patron or not, said he wanted to order one and he told his wife about it. And once his wife saw it, she thought she might want her own.
That's great. That's awesome. Yeah, you got to sell the his and hers package. That's great.
Yeah, I might have to
Really?
play that up.
Oh,
But speaking of metric, like, the old joke about, how big is 6 inches, that just doesn't translate in metric, right? You ask
no.
your wife, this is 6
Yeah.
inches. It's like, ooh, this is 28 centimeters. It's just not as funny.
No, it's not. No, you
Not
gotta
at
go
all.
fuck himself. Some people. I heard Pickle is starting to get some pretty decent comments, and somebody was roasted. Yeah,
Yes.
I'm just like, God, I don't. What is with people?
Oh, you want comments? Go post, go get someone to share like Crafty Panda or something like that to share one of your videos on Facebook. Holy fuck. I have never seen such brutal comments as in Facebook comments. Like if you share something into like not the real section, I forget what it was on Facebook, but oh, just like this guy doesn't know what he's doing. This guy's some kind of idiot. Like it was just nonstop. Like I had to like stop reading them.
I must admit, I am guilty of falling into those comment traps and laughing my ass off. But I guess it's different if it's pointed at you. But
But it was actually funny. It's a little depressing but funny at the same time just to go
yeah,
through and read these and
it's
then
great.
and then you get sucked into starting to answer them and then like forget it. Like
Yeah,
there's too many. It you know the old no publicity is bad publicity kind of thing. So
right.
what
Yeah,
can you say?
yeah. I'm just that meme of I'm just here for the comments.
Right.
Just
So
that's good
speaking
stuff.
of publicity, you got a maker spotlight this
I
week.
I do, man, and I got one here that is a fucking shame. There's only 155 people following this dude.
155.
Yeah, it's a travesty. So, my buddy Tyler David's over at Elk Whisperer Custom Knives. Um, so I met him when I was up in Idaho at Tony Satani's house, Hourglass Knives, when a couple years back, and he had showed up, and he was kind of doing the same thing. Tony was helping him out, and oddly enough, we had I had designed a knife, and it was damn near identical. I mean, his handle was a little more canted on it, but it was like strikingly the same. So like we were like looking at him, and for 6 months after that, I'm like, oh man, you're making a lot of my knives, dude. That's really cool. But dude, he makes they're so good, man. And he's a avid hunter, and a lot of people take these things out and actually use them to clean game and do all that stuff. But um go check him out, give him a follow, give him some love, because this 155 is just it's actually, it makes me upset. Good dude, good guy. We met him at um when we were at Blade West in Utah. He was up there. We had a
Okay,
couple
okay.
yeah. So yeah, go check him out. The Elks Whisperer. He's got a Facebook group too. But good dude, good work. Go check it out. He's got a couple of I can't think of see the other name of Pike or something like that. Tynan Spike. That's what it is.
Hmm,
But yeah, good stuff. Go check it out and give him a follow, and let's pump him up.
awesome. This week, I went to my who I've been following like my notifications and looked at who's been looking at my posts and who followed me and all this kind of stuff. And I found Little Wolf Ironworks, and this is Cody Adelson from North Dakota. He's a Forged in Fire champion, and my God, his knives are spectacular, like really, really good. If he's, I don't, doesn't say that he's a journeyman here, but I think he certainly could be if he's not already. He's got pictures of blades that have been in Blade magazine. Just some beautiful Damascus. And right now he's got 3,207 followers. Um, just some really, really stellar blades. Like
What is the
some
name again?
Little Wolf Ironworks. So yeah, give him a follow for sure. You want to check out some of the blades that he's been doing. Some his most recent one is a really nice folder, Damascus folder. It's got a sword in there. He does a lot of hunters by the look of it. Some really nice Damascus. I'm looking back in some of his older ones, and yeah, some really nice ones. Go check them out.
Yeah, I have not heard of him, so I'm giving him a follow. And yeah, you're
Yeah,
right. Really nice stuff here.
yeah, he's Forged and Fire Champion Season 9, Episode 6. So yeah, he knows what he's doing. Good
Double
guy.
trouble. Yeah.
Yeah. So Cody, if you're listening, yeah, hopefully you get some follows from this.
Yeah. Nice. Good work, dude. What was gonna say? Can't remember. It's gone.
Oh,
Bye
must be
bye.
important.
Bye bye.
Well, we're at an hour and 10 minutes. Anything else you got this week, or are we gonna close it down?
I do want to shout out the Full Blast podcast, the Great Question episode with Pat Quinn. They did the second part of that.
Oh, I haven't heard
Fantastic.
that yet. I heard the first one.
Yeah, dude, the first one was great, and then he had did a couple other things in between, but that one was this week, and I just am absolutely all over that subject matter right now. Is just like really good for me, and they do a great job. So informative, um, really cool. So if you haven't checked that out, go check that out. That was a good one. And
I'll have to give it a listen.
I got one question here. I've been trying to bring this up here for I have two, but we'll just do one here, and then we'll close this down here. Um, are you a planner or a freestyler when it comes to work
So
to making?
for me, I'm mostly a planner. Like it's very like I'm not one of those guys that will like, oh, I'm just going to take this piece of steel to the anvil and let it tell me what it wants to be. Because if I do that, it turns into a lump of shit. Um, I'm I need to have a plan so that I can, even to the point of I'd like to make a template so I can see the handle needs to be this. Like I need to work towards a plan so that you know I need to stretch this part because I want to achieve this. And I'm not saying that's the right way or the only way. I'm too much of a like type A, like I have to know the plan ahead of time and work towards the plan. And Jared's laughing because he already knows the answer to this. He knows I'm a planner. Um, so that's me. Yeah, I need to know what I'm doing. What about you? You
To a
floating in the
fault.
middle? To a
Nah.
fault.
Yeah, you're a planner to the fault. Um, no, but I think that's one thing that's I don't. There's definitely not a right answer to this. For me, I'm going to land in the planner stage right now. However, I do dream of a freestyle, free state type of way, and I have experienced that because one of the worst fucking questions anybody could ask me, and I put myself in these positions because I'm always going to other people's shops and asking them, what do you do? How you doing this and blah 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 blah, and then they'll be like, oh, you want to do something, and then they're like, okay, well, what do you want to make? Like I hate that because I don't fucking know, right? Because I've had any chance to think about it or plan or go, and I'm like, I don't fucking know. So I end up just doing, right, and that is a very cool way because I think it was explained to me, like especially while you're forging. I think as a stock removal guy, I don't think there's too much freestyling. I mean, you can do. I mean, you can kind of block out some stuff and start grinding, and then but I definitely will have a template of some kind, and I'll make some adjustments and tweaks from there. But if you're forging though, like you get the knife shaped object, and somewhere in there is a knife, right? I mean, unless you're forging exactly to shape, which is cool, and But I like to, you know, I've had the experience to where we've just made some things, and then like I know somewhere in there is a knife that I didn't plan, you know, and I think that's really cool. And I've seen a lot of people just I don't plan shit. I'm just out here, you know, doing their thing. And I think some of it's called bullshit, but you know, you're either going to revert back to something you're familiar with making and make a variation out of that. But
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
there's a lot of stuff where people are just like, you know, nah, I don't know. I think we're going to go with this, or you know, let's. I think that's really cool.
Not to say I've never done it that way. When I did, the only one I that really comes to mind is when I did the um, Turkish twist. The last Turkish twist I did has a big ass guard on it with a big handle, like big handle guard. The guard comes all the way down. But forget about the guard. But when I was forging, because the Turkish twist, you really need to forge it to shape. You can't cut it out or you fuck up the bars, right? Um, I got a big recurve, and I didn't really, when I envisioned it, I didn't really want the recurve, but that one, I kind of just went with it. I like, okay, this is what it's doing this on the anvil. We're gonna go with it, and
Yeah.
uh, and I like that knife, but it was more, I didn't have a plan going in of exactly what the blade was going to look like, and I'm happy with it. So yeah, sometimes it can work out well. Where I don't think it works is when you're doing a complex build like a sword or something like that that has fittings that, you know, like if you got a piece of metal and you want like and you're hammering out a knife, that's one thing. When you're working on a big build, to me that's different. Like you need to have some plan going in, or maybe people can do it. I can't, not for something that big. But I get it. I know what you mean. Like it is fun to when I teach classes, I'll tend to like I riff a little more when I'm in a class because
Yeah, that's
okay,
because that's a good point. Like I can definitely see, and I think it's because it's been applied to me with like, well, this is the way you're going, but to me, I see this here, you know. So why don't we just go that direction? And you're switching, and you know, but no expectations, right? And let that thing go. But the reason why I asked the question is because with the Viking challenge, um, yeah, I've seen quite a few. I'm completely blanking on where I saw it, but I saw a very, very, very detailed drawing of a fit up on somebody's post there. And I started thinking to
yeah,
myself,
yeah.
I'm like, I don't know if I could, I mean, I can't draw that good, number one, but like, like I don't have that much attention to do it, but I think that might just come from an experience of not, you know, knowing the process completely. Cause I've never done the hidden tang construction, but yeah,
It's
that's
coming.
what kind of,
It's coming.
oh yeah, I know it's here, but not that I'm excited to get into it too, but that's what really made me think about it. I was like, I wonder if like could that build happen without him creating this crazy, or is he just that Denis type of dude that's got to, you know, have everything planned out?
I guarantee you, John Norwood is making that big ass sword. I guarantee he didn't have a paper. I doubt it that he had a paper plan. He's a guy that's just going to wing it. And same with
Yeah,
Spencer. I don't think he had a heavy forge. I think he just
yeah,
went for it. But maybe he didn't. I don't know. I have to ask him.
yeah. I'm curious. Let me know. Hit me up. Let us know. I'm curious. Are you a planner or are you a freestyler?
That's a good question. And I think maybe that changes throughout your career. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. Tell us.
Yeah, interested to know. And that's all I got.
All right, man. That's a show. I'm excited for next week. You guys better tune in. You're going to want to hear this. All right,
Uh,
guys.
I'm excited. We're excited. And that's a wrap.